Hey, it's time to talk about something that's probably lurking in your kitchen right now: expiration dates. We've all been there, standing in front of the fridge or pantry, holding up a package and squinting at those tiny numbers, wondering if we're about to make a huge mistake or just waste perfectly good food. You know, those little numbers stamped on everything from milk to granola bars that seem to shout "toss me out" the second they roll around. It's almost like they're daring you to take a risk or guilting you into throwing things away. Well, here's the truth. Most of the time, those dates don't mean what you think. In fact, they're often more about suggestion than strict rules. Let's start with a quick history lesson. Back in the day, before supermarkets and mass packaging, people relied on their senses and experience to judge if food was still good. Before the 20th century, people checked if their food was fresh using their senses: smell, sight, taste. If it looked okay, smelled fine, and tasted right, it was probably safe to eat. But as supermarkets and packaged foods took over, it got trickier to tell what was still good. Packaging separated us from our food, and we started to rely on labels instead of our instincts. So, in the 1970s, shoppers pushed for clearer info, and the open dating system was born. Suddenly, every box, can, and carton had a date, and people felt a little more in control, but also a lot more confused. But here's the catch: best by, sell by, and use by dates? They all sound official, but they're not all the same. And most aren't about safety at all. They're mostly about quality, not safety. These dates are set by manufacturers to let you know when the food will taste its best, not when it becomes unsafe. Manufacturers pick dates to make sure you get their products at peak flavor and texture, not because it suddenly turns dangerous after midnight on the listed day. It's about protecting their brand and your experience, not your health. In fact, there's usually no scientific basis for these dates when it comes to your health. There's no magic switch that flips when the clock strikes midnight. So, what's actually safe to eat past the date? It depends on the food, how it's stored, and your own senses. Shelf-stable foods like pasta or cookies might get a bit stale, but they're rarely risky. You might notice a change in texture or flavor, but they're still safe to eat for quite a while. Canned goods. If the can isn't bulging or rusty, you're good for years. Canned foods are designed to last, and as long as the seal is intact, they're usually safe well past the printed date. Frozen foods? As long as your freezer's working, they last almost forever. Freezing stops bacteria in its tracks, so you don't have to worry about safety, just maybe a little freezer burn. Eggs? They can stay fresh for up to 5 weeks in the fridge. Trust your nose. A bad egg is pretty obvious. If you're unsure, do the float test. If it sinks, it's good. If it floats, toss it. And for fruits and veggies, just watch for mold, bad smells, or slime. If they look and smell fine, they're probably still good to eat. But, big but, some foods are exceptions. There are a few things you really do need to be careful with. Infant formula has a strict safety date, so always stick to it. Babies' immune systems are delicate, and expired formula can lose nutrients or even become unsafe. Meats should be eaten or frozen within days of buying. Raw meat can harbor bacteria, so don't take chances. If in doubt, freeze it or cook it soon. And ready-to-eat salads, deli meats, or unpasteurized cheeses? If they're past the date, it's better to be safe than sorry. These foods can grow harmful bacteria even in the fridge. So, what can we do to waste less food? Start by planning meals, storing food properly, and learning which foods are really risky. Experts say clearer labeling, like using best if used by for quality and use by for safety, could save hundreds of thousands of tons of food a year. It would help shoppers make smarter choices and cut down on unnecessary waste. Some stores even removed dates from produce entirely to help people trust their own senses again. It's a small change that can make a big difference in how much food we throw away. Bottom line, don't let confusing dates boss you around. Take back control and use your own judgment. For most foods, your eyes, nose, and taste buds are the best tools you have. Trust yourself. You know more than you think. If it looks, smells, and tastes right, it's probably fine. Don't be afraid to rely on your senses, just like people did for generations. Stay smart, stay safe, and let's stop tossing good food for no reason. By understanding what expiration dates really mean, you can save money, reduce waste, and enjoy your food with confidence.